Another prompt little bit, something more complex, and see if we can challenge the model a little bit further. And so I have this prompt here, a slightly longer prompt. It's cinematic photo of an advanced robotic soldier in futuristic green armor and an anthropomorphic parrot on his shoulder, inspired by military equipment perfectly adapted to the environment set against a large jungle backdrop. Intricate details and vibrant colors. We have this time, let's say a different aspect ratio, and we will generate again for images. Let's hit generate and see the result. All right, we have the result, and it's a definitely not bad. So Clink also made Robot a parrot as well, which is interesting. And, of course, the texture and details of Midjourney is not here. So prompt understanding was quite advanced, but photorealism is not as good as Midjourney yet. But the cool thing is, with a single button, we can actually activate image to video mode, and then we can actually already create a video from this image, which brings a significant amount of improvement to our workflow. For now, I'm going back to the model here. And of course, as you realize you can like or dislike this image, you can favorite it, you can download it, or you can use this image as a reference. The other method is the reference image method. And here you can give any reference image. For example, we're clicking here and I will upload an image here. So as a reference image, I uploaded photos of my dog Lonnie. And you can set reference strength, which means higher values indicate stronger reference strength. So if we increase this, we can assume that the reference image that we use, the lawn image, will be more influencing the final result. We can also write a prompt complementary to reference image. For example, let's try to make an abyss the ancient Egyptian guide from Lee's image, which is one of my favorite things to do. But let's make it this time more cyberpunk, and we have quite strong strength from the original image, and let's try to produce something 16:9, and we hit generate. It's actually quite funny because I think I applied too much of a strength for the reference image and my prompt was not really taking into account. And I think it makes sense. If I want clinging to take my prompt into more consideration, I think I should lower the reference strength and then try to generate gain. So after decreasing the reference strength, now I can see an abyss from ancient Egypt. And my prompt is much more strongly represented on the final results. Nice. One issue though, in all of my generations, I didn't get much cyberpunk elements, which was actually part of my prompt. So it's difficult to say that cyberpunk was somehow represented in the final image. And it's understandable since we are using a reference image. But even in the low R reference strength, still we can say non-cyberpunk elements. And I understand that, cyberpunk in ancient Egypt maybe doesn't necessarily fit. But that's the cool part about Midjourney, for example. It sometimes manages to create a coherent context even from keywords which doesn't necessarily fit to each other. And I think that creative element still really separates Midjourney from other AI generation tools. So, this is a nice model, but since our main issue is video, I will now switch to video mode. So, this is the part that excites the whole world. There are two models here. One is text video, and the other one is image to video. In text video, we can write a prompt from scratch and create a video from scratch. In the image to video part, we can give a reference image, for example, from Midjourney, and make a video from this image. There's also add-in frames feature coming soon, and this is similar to Luma. So it's like you give the first frame and the last frame. And it makes the middle part into a video for you. And you can make very brain-busting videos with this. A really cool transition videos and stuff like that. Now first I want to show you text to video. I'll write a prompt here, and I would like to share with you the new video version of my atomic prompt structure. And here's the new structure. You will realize that it's very similar to my original atomic prompting structure with all the differences. I added camera movement to the beginning of my prompt structure as power token, because camera movement, I think, is really influential for a video footage. And that's why it makes sense to mention it at the beginning to ensure that it's gone not be full influence in the final footage. Now let's head back to Kling and write our first text-to-video prompt for this aero-cinematic low-angle shot of a landing machine next to two escalators of a building dim lighting. So here, there are a few settings that we should talk about. If you pull this towards creativity, it'll move a bit away from your prompt. It'll use its own creative design a bit more similar to using stylized parameter on Midjourney. If you pull towards relevance, it'll stick more closely to your prompt, similar to Style Row on Midjourney. But for this example, I will leave it default for now. Below that, there is a setting for the mode that we want to use. There are two modes, high performance and high quality. The high quality part is not yet open. It says this feature will be available soon. Stay tuned. So right now we have to choose high performance. In the same way, we also can't choose 10 seconds because it's not yet available, so we have to choose 5 seconds. There are 3 options for aspect ratio, 16:9, 9:16, and 1:1. Maximum resolution is 1280 by 720 pixels. And for this example, let's keep it 16:9. Coming down here, there is a camera movement part. We can add a camera movement here. You can choose a moment that anything you want or leave it entirely to I. Or you can add vertical, horizontal zoom, pan tilt, roll movement. Let's choose zoom. You can choose zoom out or zoom in from here. And it already shows in the previous section what kind of camera movement will be. Let's make it zoom in. There is also a negative prompt part here. This is an optional feature. You can write it if you want, but usually if you write a negative prompt in all AI model, you have a higher chance of getting more accurate results. For example, I don't want blur, distortion, low quality anatomic mistakes. Each video consumes 10 credits. So at the moment, we have 60.8. So if we hit generate, then 10 credits will gone, and let's hit generate. This process can take longer, depending on the server lot. But it's really nice that at this there is a progress bar. Meanwhile, I want to show you another video that I generated before. You can see this is actually image to video, which I will show you in a detail in a second.